Yes, welcome to the Jamaica Young Police channel. To our loyal viewers, subscribers and Patreon member. At the channel, we are a group of law-abiding citizens who believe in the rule of law and respect the rights of every citizen, but not the ones who do not subscribe to such behavior. We do believe in and support preemptive strikes because they save lives. This is a logical conclusion because preemptive strikes save lives and prevent the further loss of lives. We are all about saving lives at this channel. We at the channel aid criminals with a passion and do not want them over here. We do not want your views, your subscriptions, your likes or your comments. Please go elsewhere where the red carpet is waiting for you. Over here, we want you to go to prison or the departure lounge at Marvin. Moving on to today's video. Yes, so welcome to part 5 of the 7-part series. If this is the first time to the Jamaica Young Police channel and you haven't subscribed to the channel, yes, please consider subscribing and select the notification bell and select all, so that whenever we at the Jamaica Young Police channel release a video, you'll be the first to get a notification. If you're already a subscriber of the Jamaica Young Police channel and you're not receiving any notification, please unsubscribe and subscribe again. The channel has been under attack for the past 2.5 years because of the information that we are imparting to the people, which is the truth and nothing but the truth, real mama papa truth. And the attack started from exposing a PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization, supporter activist, and a guy by the name of Omar Ebanks, in which he was boasting about his role in the death of the former PMP councillor Tyson, who was killed in Portmore, and his connection to the opposition leader Mark Golding and Peter Bunting. You can go and listen to that. You can go ahead and listen to the videos. They had removed it from YouTube 2 times and re-uploaded it because we did not violate any of YouTube policies. And that is from when the channel started the relentless attack on the Jamaica Young Police channel by the surrogates, that people that they have implanted in YouTube, in the belly of YouTube. And that's when the attack started. So please continue to share the video to expose them, because lies have expiry date, but the truth doesn't. That's why for 2,000 years ago, Jesus Christ was crucified, and Jesus is the most popular personality or celebrity in the world. So remember to like the video. When you like it, a pop-up is going to come up and says hype it. And please remember, share it and expose the criminal and the rat from within the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization. These people don't love Jamaica. All they love is power and greed. They are thieves, scammers. Just the way that Marvin Edgar is able to scam this woman. That's how the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization have been scamming Jamaicans for decades. It's only 2 of us that is left from my community. The belly of the beast, Jonestown, Concrete Jungle, where criminality, the baby was born. Yeah, the PMP delivered the baby, impregnate our community and deliver this baby called criminality. We were cultured, nurtured, domesticated and socialized to be criminal-minded people with no conscience. So welcome back to part 5 of this 7-part series. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming that education and intelligence are exactly the same thing. They are not. They are not. A university degree demonstrates that someone has completed studies, a course of study. It may reflect knowledge, discipline, and perseverance. Those are valuable qualities. But a diploma, a master's degree, or even a doctorate does not automatically make someone a critical thinker. Likewise, someone who never had the opportunity to attend university may possess outstanding judgment, political wisdom, and the ability to recognize when something simply doesn't add up. Yeah, it does not add up at all. History is full of brilliant inventors, entrepreneurs, tradesmen, mechanics, farmers, police officers, soldiers, and ordinary citizens who never earn advanced degrees but demonstrate remarkable intelligence through observation, experience, and sound decision making. True intelligence is revealed when people ask difficult questions. It is revealed when they refuse to accept extraordinary claims without extraordinary evidence. It is revealed when they verify information from opening their wallets. That is why every one of us should develop the habit of thinking critically rather than emotionally. Now, let's consider something else. When a public figure who is being accused of running a fraudulent scheme responds to labeling critics as supporters of the Jamaica Labour Party instead of addressing the evidence itself, that is worth examining. We know the PNP LGBTQ plus criminal organization supporters and activists and voters, they can't think because they're ideologues. Notice what happened? Instead of answering questions, instead of producing documents, instead of providing transparent financial records, instead of explaining where the money went, the discussion shift towards politics. Yeah, them a labor right. Because them expects a PNP LGBTQ plus criminal organization supporters supposed to be ideologues and them supposed to be organate robots. Whatever we tell them, that's what them are on with. That changes the conversations from facts to identity. Rather than asking, is the allegation true? The audience is encouraged to ask, which side are you on? That can distract people from evaluating the evidence itself. Political identity should never become substitute for evidence. And that is what he is playing on the people's emotion. The PNP LGBTQ plus criminal organization supporters and voters. Because me a PNP, them are attack me. It's not because you're a PNP, it's because you're a thief. You're a scammer. You're a deportee. And you know that you're scamming the PNP LGBTQ plus criminal organization supporters, activists and voters because they can't think. That can distract people. Rather than asking, is the allegation true? The audience is encouraged to ask, which side are you on? That's a way him do. Instead of people them think, him ask, you would liberate them or you with me? So he's telling the PNP LGBTQ plus criminal organization supporters and voters, say, yes, once you're with me, you're a PNP. Once you're talking the truth, you're a labor right. You get it? That can distract people from evaluating the evidence itself. Political identity should never become substitute for evidence. Whether someone support the PNP LGBTQ plus criminal organization, the Jamaica Labour Party, another party or no party at all, the same question should be asked. Where is the documentation? Where the money went? Show which part where you invest the woman money. Show with proof, and then the investigation. Where are the receipts? Can the claim be independently verified? Do the numbers make sense? Is there credible evidence to support the allegations or to refute them? Those questions should never change because of someone's political affiliation. If someone attempts to frame every critic as belonging to a political camp, viewers should recognize that tactic and bring the discussion back to facts. The strength of an argument is determined by the quality of its evidence, not by a political label attached to the person making it. That's the thing with this tribal thing with the PNP LGBTQ plus criminal organization. They're able to get the people not to think, but to operate as PMP supporters and voters. If you are not with us, you are against us. That's not supposed to be. Critical thinkers understand the strength of an argument is determined by the quality of its evidence, not by political label attached to the person making it. They don't accept something because it comes from a friend. They don't reject something because it comes from an opponent. That is what is the problem, even in America. Critical thinking at its lowest. They examine the facts. If somebody show you say them a scammer for all of them life, why you believe say them not gonna scam you? Somebody bankrupt for how many years, how many times them file, and you still believe say they are successful. You have to be a dummy. They examine the facts. Critical thinkers examine the facts. They compare claims with documents. They test arguments against evidence. This is how mature democracies function. And that is how citizens protect themselves from deception. So I encourage every viewer, regardless of your political beliefs, to evaluate any financial opportunity, investments, or fundraising campaign with the same level of scrutiny. Ask questions, demand transparency, verify independently. You're so gullible you want to get rich that somebody can sell a pie in the sky and jump on it. Never allow emotion, loyalty, fear, or political identity to replace careful thinking. Because when money is involved, critical thinking is often your best protection. In the next installment of this series, we'll continue examining the publicly available information and discuss additionally the evidence and timelines that viewers should consider before reaching their own conclusion. So this is part 5 of this 7-part series. You watch, you listen, and you decide. And those of you who say, boy, the video too long, as we say now, I say again, over here is not an entertainment channel. So if you look for entertainment, you just go elsewhere. Moving on to part 5.
I more than 10 years.
So you told the FBI about her?
More than 10 years. Yeah. Every document I had to put her name in it because she's the one who told me about Marvin. So she's the one introduced me to Marvin. And then she said she invests money because the thing is, if Rita is truthful and gave Marvin money, she gave Marvin Jamaican dollars when she was in Jamaica, she said. Mm-hmm. When she came back to America, she gave Marvin money when she was in America. So she have the two countries. Mm-hmm. And if Rita walked into a police station in Jamaica and said, I gave Marvin $1 million in Jamaica to invest, mm-hmm. Marvin gone to jail. But I don't have Jamaica. That's why they don't pick him up yet. Because I didn't give him the money in Jamaica. Right. And that is the barrier what I have because most of this, I did have I did have a lawyer in Jamaica. I hired a lawyer over there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How what happened?
Pay money for consultation, and the lawyer 2 weeks ago, the lawyer told me the case is too heavy for him. He dropped the case. You know, I don't know, but the lawyer told me he cannot. The magnitude of the case, because he's not a lawyer what deal with thing there.
Financial transaction.
Criminal and crypto coin, he don't deal with. But I hire you. I have to pay for consultation. You didn't know the case before you charge me for consultation.
How much money you charge? $500?
Okay, no, you charge me $190 for consultation, And for taking the case, he charged me $2,600. No, $2,600 to do the case. For the first until if Marvin choose to pay back the money without go to court, the money won't raise. But if Marvin don't want to pay back the money, if Marvin attorney can come to him and they do agreement for Marvin to pay back the money without going to court, I don't have to pay any more money. But if Marvin don't want to pay back the money and they have to go to court, I have to pay more money.
Well, that's why anything, look here, anything that sounds too good to be true, you never jump on it, you understand? In case you do not know, Jamaicans, we as Jamaicans, we were conditioned, socialized, nurtured, and domesticated to be criminal-minded people. And that's the, how old are you? You don't have to tell me your exact age. I don't know if Marvin know your exact age. Marvin know your exact age?
No, Marvin don't know my age. Marvin, I'm over 60.
Okay,
okay.
All right. So if you are over 60, then you're supposed to know about a man named Michael Manley.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Michael Manley Philosophy 101. Because I am from the belly of the beast, you know. Everything that you have said, this is all the con people. You understand what I'm saying? We as Jamaican, before Michael Manley came to Jamaica, we weren't dishonest people. We were loving, good people. Michael Manley is the one that came there and sell us this bad mind thing and how to scam people and how to lie. So all of these things when they say informer for dead, that is some Michael Manley philosophy, where Michael Manley propel criminals on the pedestal. He fed them up on Bory Boy on his campaign trail. The two murderer of them on him platform. And from then, that's where we're at right now. That's why Marvin is able to scam you. Because and the girl that named Rita. Because if we were from a different, if Michael Manley did not come to Jamaica and sell all of these lies, the pie in the sky and these lies, this would not happen to you. And if a man have two, just like how when you call Andre Steven, him not even sympathize with you and say, oh, him thief so much of your money and you understand what I'm saying? You see what he resorts to? Oh, you never send none come game. So even although you are a victim and you have been scammed and you lost so much, he didn't even no empathy or sympathy to you. He wants you to give him some money to. But that is Michael Manley philosophy. You understand? So that's why I tell you that we as a people, most of us, as Jamaican, we were cultured to be criminal-minded people. And so as you know, when you come on to Rita, Kirk, and Marvin, you're informer on them thing that you for dead. Because you chat too much on them thing there. You know that though?
Yeah, Marvin threatened me too. Maybe Marvin said, I didn't know, but Marvin did say, I don't even remember.
He said that threat to you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you did you report it to the FBI?
He said, he said people like me to he never really said I'm too dead. He said people like me, that's why they analyze people like me.
They're not kill him or kill you, that them thing they come and tell us if you shut up your mouth. Informer, you're informer if you're dead. That's a threat.
Yeah,
that's a direct threat. Whether it's indirect or direct, it's still a threat. Threat on your life. Because you speak up, you understand?
Well, yeah, because when he sent this letter to me, he thought I was going to be quiet. And the thing is, if you're going to scam in the right way, I sent Marvin a check with my name on it. And Marvin want to send me a cease and desist letter from an attorney office. Attorney office, every number, every branch, office number, every branch is right and the letter. And Marvin don't have any time to go find the check and get my right name.
Okay, because he's a thief. Have you ever met an honest liar in your life? No, I'm asking you. Miss Gloria.
You went and
have you ever met an honest liar?
No, but some of them do better.
No, there's no honest. If you as a Jamaican, if you have a Jamaican friend and you tell them the truth, 9 out of 10 times them stop talking to you.
That's it.
Because we were cultured to be that way. We weren't socialized to be decent people. That's a Michael Manley philosophy. And it's like a disease. We were cultured and nurtured. I am from the belly of the beast, you know. We were cultured and nurtured to be criminal-minded people. And that is what happened with you.
Marvin do so many things, send him right up in jail. He do so many things because he was on social media. So he came to explain. He saw it because he has so many followers. And when he came there, he was cursing me. He cursing me like crazy. It's a crazy woman. She's crazy. She don't know what she's doing. How can you call me a crazy? That is one of the things in America. You know that the person is mentally.
Yes, can you text me a copy of the thing there? The wire transfer that you sent to him.
The check?
Yes, that you had sent to him. Yes, the check.
I have the check. I have everything.
And you have the return of the check that showed that it was cash and stuff like that, right? You have a copy of the check that was cash. You know, at the back of the check it says which bank it received the money and all of this.
No, I have the check from my bank. I have the check was sent out. I don't have the check from his bank.
So what I'm talking about, the check that you sent to him, the wire. You have the wire transfer that you sent to him, a copy of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying so you're saying maybe at one point in time he was living here or he was just visiting?
He was visiting. He visited Florida. It told me he was in Florida. So when he was in Florida, that's when the time when he was in Florida, that was the time he went and do his bank. Open the account. I think so.
So you let the bank know that he had scammed you?
Yes, I told it to the bank.
And what the bank says?
The bank gave me they didn't do much because I'm the one who took the check out of the account. When I took the money from their bank, they don't have nothing. It didn't go through their bank. I'm the one who go there and get a check and walk out with it. So when you take your money out of their account, they don't have much to do with it. It didn't happen in their bank. So that is where it says. So.
And it's over a year now.
Yeah, December
coming is 2 years.
December was.
Well, I don't know. You know, anytime you hear something that is too good to be true, you know, you don't buy into it. And number one, anytime you're doing business, you cannot do business with somebody that is not reputable or anything like that. That could not happen to me because based on my experience and my background, I don't trust people, you know. I treat somebody I trust, me, myself, and no random person could not come to me and tell me, you know, propose such a scheme to me, and I buy into it. Period. You understand?
But remember, it's not a random person.
I know that is in your
Rita approached me.
Yes, but she knew all along what she was up to. She never have your interest at all either. She's a part of it. She's a part of the puzzle. You understand?
Because I until now I cannot come to myself that she do so. People say I'm in denial, but until this day I can come to myself to say she would do something like that to me.
Well, she did.
We sit every day we sit and plan. So she kind of know what, she don't know the exact amount of money what I have, but she kind of have an idea about my account. She don't know the figures, but she kind of have, because it's the things that I bought. She know things, because you have to have a good amount of money to buy your child a home for herself. And we who work in healthcare, we make good money. Because I work in hospital.
What are you talking? You're a CNA?
I'm a full-time worker in the hospital.
I know, but I'm asking, what kind of work you doing? You're a CNA?
I don't want to go so far.
Oh, you don't want to talk about it?
Because
okay.
I don't really want, my outsiders, things like that. Because as I told you, I'm a person, I don't give out information about myself. So
no, but no, you're the one that talking about. You're the one that talk. You're the one that talking about. You're in the healthcare industry and make a lot of money, because I know that CNA don't really make that amount of money. I know that in America, for you to be working, good money, you have to have a degree and stuff like that, or two.
What you said? What did you say a while ago?
I know.
Any CNA will tell you they don't work no money. That CNA hiding something. Because CNA can work money if they want to work money.
Like, but
CNA.
Like, what's that? CNA, they get overtime they get overtime too?
CNA can wrap up $4,000 every 2 weeks on their check.
Wow. Oh, that.
So don't let nobody say CNA don't work money.
No. I'm just. It's just based on what on what people have said about people that work in the healthcare industry. You understand?
I never work two jobs. Never work two jobs. I only work one job. I do overtime sometimes. When I want to do the most overtime, I do. But what I did was in COVID. COVID. Working in the hospital, COVID, a lot of people stay home. And if you choose to go to work, you have to work plenty overtime.
Yes, I know. I know that.
So COVID was a time where you could make a lot of money. And in COVID and out COVID, you still can make your money. In COVID, you make a lot of money. But out of COVID, you make a lot. And I even used to do travel. I work as traveling.
Oh, okay. So well, I know that travel nurses make crazy money.
You can work as travel. You get $60, $70, $80, $100 to $120, whatever money you want
per hour.
That's what you go for. Because you see the amount you're gonna get before you take the case. For instance, they say they're gonna pay you $100. Somebody else gonna pay you $150. You're gonna skip the 100 and go to the 160.
Right.
You set your price. So
I understand what you're saying. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't. This thing with Marvin, Marvin Edgar. So the address. So you had the address that he had in Florida.
Yeah, the address is on the documentary Rita sent me. She sent me the address with the money. She sent me the address with the road to number, the address, the account number,
and the bank account number.
The switch code. I don't even know that they have a switch code with some different thing. She sent me that text with everything, and I wrote it off and take it to the bank, and they fill it out on the check. And but the address is not Florida.
What's the address is what?
Georgia. The address is Kirk address, Georgia.
Oh, okay, hold on. So the money that you had sent, it's not to Andre you sent it to. It's to Kirk you sent it to.
No, the address. Marvin used his name, but he used Kirk address.
Oh.
Georgia.
Oh.
The name, the Marvin name is on the check, and Kirk address is on it. I don't know if it's Kirk address, but Kirk lives in Georgia, so I just say it's Kirk address because it's Georgia, Hampton, Georgia. That is the address on the check. That is the address, not on the check. That is the address right up on the check. That is the address I gave to the bank. I don't know where they do it, they put it, but Marvin's name is on the check and my address on the bottom. With Marvin name, Marvin account number is on the check, and then my information below Marvin information with my address there. That's why I mark out my address. I only pass out my address to authority, but anybody else I call.
No, you don't have to. So let me ask you now, how long you made the report to the FBI?
That is just like, I have to remember which, sometime in maybe August.
From last year?
Because I did not. Yeah.
No man, you need to write your senator. You understand what I'm saying? Christine Gillibrand or Chuck Schumer. You understand? You know to use a computer?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you contact them, it's going to ask you about which agency you're having problem with, and you let them know that you understand the FBI. But you can go to you can go to the Department of Justice for New York. And so have you been to the local police, the local precinct?
Yeah, they are the first one I went to, and they took the information, and they gave me the verification of incident.
So what the local police says, because they're gonna tell us it's a federal case, but normally they would follow up with the investigator, although you said they haven't assigned any since last year August.